Breaking news out of Bloomington, Indiana. Curt Cignetti gets a huge contract extension as the Hoosiers head coach, and he ain't going anywhere.
You are Locked On Hoosiers, your daily podcast on the Indiana Hoosiers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome, and it is the Locked On Hoosiers podcast. I'm your man, Jacob Goins. I appreciate you being here, making this your first listen or your first watch every single day. We are part of the Locked On Podcast Network, which is your team every day. This is a breaking news episode of Locked On Hoosiers out of Bloomington, Indiana. Curt Cignetti gets a major contract extension from Indiana. He is now the head coach through 2033, and he ain't taking any other jobs. We're talking about that today here on this bonus episode of Locked On Hoosiers. Thank you so much for being here, for tuning in, supporting the show however you do. Thank you so much for that. Subscribing on YouTube, commenting down below, and following us on your audio platforms as well. And we've been waiting on this, right? We've been waiting on some sort of a decision to happen, whether it was Cignetti signing an extension or taking another job. Something was going to happen. And the good thing happened. The better thing happened. The right thing happened. Curt Cignetti signs an extension to be the Indiana Hoosiers head football coach, an 8-year extension where he'll make $11.6 million a year. Think about that for just a second. $11.6 million for the next 8 years, which keeps Curt Cignetti in Bloomington, Indiana until 2033. This just makes sense. It makes sense in all facets here, on all sides. This was the correct decision. And for those of you who have listened or watched Locked On Hoosiers for the first few days of this week, you'll know that this is what I told you. This is what we predicted. I said, Curt Cignetti is not leaving. He's not going to go anywhere else. He wants to be at Indiana. And why would you want to leave? Why would you want to leave the place that you have brought up from the depths of you know where, a place that you have brought relevancy to, and you're on the verge of doing something that's never been done, which is competing to win a national championship? You've already made a ton of history, and you're well on your way to make more. Why would you leave now and restart somewhere else, even if it was Penn State or Florida or whatever other job opens up? He wasn't interested in that, and neither was Indiana. And the timing on this could not have been better. And it absolutely had to do with the Penn State job opening, because you don't just sign this in the middle of the season after you just signed one a year ago if he wasn't getting phone calls, if there wasn't some stress, if there wasn't some worry about him taking another job. And I don't think Indiana was necessarily concerned with him leaving or didn't trust him or anything like that. I think this was just a respect thing. I think this was Indiana saying, hey, we're committed to you. Can you commit to us? And this wasn't a, we'll see if we show our cards, maybe he'll show his, or if we give him a peek, maybe he'll do so. I think this was an adult conversation between Scott Dolson, the entire department at Indiana, and Curt Cignetti. And they said, hey, we want you here. Do you want to be here? Curt Cignetti said, yeah, I want to be here. Do you want me to be here? And Indiana said, you bet. And they came to an agreement to make him now the third highest paid coach in college football. Think about that. Curt Cignetti, the head coach at Indiana, of all places, is the third highest paid coach in college football. Kirby Smart making $13.2 million a year. Ryan Day at Ohio State making $12.5. And there is Curt Cignetti, $11.6 million a year as the third highest paid coach in the country. And this goes right along with what Curt Cignetti has said the entire time, right? He says he wants to be at Indiana. He wants to build Indiana, and then he wants to retire at Indiana. And he backed that up by signing this contract extension. They said it in their release, right, from Indiana. They said it's simple. Sig is a winner. And I love that they call him Sig. I think that's fantastic. They said, simply put, Sig is a winner. From last year's college football playoff appearance to this year's top 3 national ranking, the IU football program's success has been tremendous. Curt and Manette Cignetti are home in Indiana, and we are delighted that the Cignetti family will be Hoosiers for many years to come. That was from the president of the university. That's big time stuff, man. And this is awesome. And just to make sure that everybody knew, Curt Cignetti sat at his desk. He wore the beautiful colors of IU. He looked right into a camera and he told the entire world, I'm an Indiana Hoosier. This is where I want to be. I will retire at Indiana. And that's exactly what this contract extension does. That's what this secures. Curt Cignetti, Hoosier fans, will be your head coach until he retires, until he's done, until he wants to hang it up and coach no more. And look, I know we're having a lot of conversations recently about the whole buyout thing with coaches and how the system has gotten way out of hand and completely broken, right? In favor of the coaches who get fired. I mean, you're paying dudes 50, 60, 70 million dollars to kick rocks. That's absurd, but it doesn't matter. There's no world. I don't care if Indiana comes out and doesn't win a game next year. Indiana's fine with that. You've had your moment in the sun, but that's not going to happen. And that's what's exciting, is that doomsday scenario could happen and it would be fine, but it's not going to happen. And so the fact that you have Curt Cignetti guaranteed here through 2033, I think that's about as long as he'll coach. I said it earlier in the week. I'm thinking 7, 8, 10 years max. And that would be right about at that point. Curt Cignetti will be the Indiana head football coach for the next 8 years, as he'll make $11.6 million. We'll talk about kind of what this means moving forward for the rest of the season and for some of these other teams around college football on this bonus episode of Locked On Hoosiers right after this. This bonus episode of Locked On Hoosiers is brought to you by Supply House. When the opening whistle blows on a new repair, get your crew moving forward with Supply House. Order today and see parts of your doorstep tomorrow. Over 280,000 plumbing, HVAC, and electrical items from the most trusted brands in the business. Their real-time inventory and honest lead times keep you from punting on projects, while their industry-leading customer service always has your blind side covered. If you need parts fast for a project, Supply House has next-day delivery. Talk about a game changer. Join the free Trade Master program today and score serious perks like priority shipping, lower prices, and a dedicated support line. Visit supplyhouse.com to sign up for free and use promo code SHCollege5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Real people, real service. This bonus episode brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. So Thursday night football tonight, college on Saturday, NFL on Sunday. Get in on the action now at FanDuel. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. This episode also brought to you by Mazda. Mazda crafts cars for those who do more than simply move. Mazda delivers confidence with every ride, with more IIHS Top Safety Pick awards than anyone else. From footwork to breathwork, athletes sweat all the details. Mazda brings this same intention to how we craft every model. Like our players, we sweat every detail, because when you make every move count, impossible becomes irrelevant. Mazda, move and be moved. All right, welcome back into this bonus episode of Locked On Hoosiers. Thank you for being here on YouTube or on your audio podcasting platforms. And now what? That's the question we ask. Now what do you do? If you're Indiana, if you're Curt Cignetti, if you're a Hoosiers fan, and if you're the rest of college football. Well, I can tell you this. Penn State's not happy, because they picked up the phone. They called Curt Cignetti, and he said, nah, I'm good. I got my people here. I'm good. I don't need to go anywhere. I appreciate you, though. Because why would I come to your place if they'll pay me that kind of money here to just keep doing what I'm doing? Makes pretty much perfect sense, right? So Penn State's not happy. Any other country or any other program in the country that thought they had a chance at Curt Cignetti, they're not happy either. And college football, especially the Big Ten, ought to be pretty darn worried, pretty darn scared, the fact that Curt Cignetti has Indiana football playing as well as they are right now, and the fact that he is going to be here for many more years to come, which means that Indiana is going to be here for many more years to come. It also means, from Indiana's perspective as a whole, right, in terms of the college football landscape, Indiana just came out today and showed the college football world that they can and they will compete in this space. They've got the money, they've got the boosters, they've got the facilities, and they've got the decision makers who are willing to commit to Indiana football. Something that has never been done before Curt Cignetti got here, which shows the impact that he has had, which shows the fact that winning cures a lot. Doesn't cure all, but it cures a lot. And it shows that Indiana has made some serious internal changes, whether that's a mindset or people or both. Indiana proved today that they are willing and able to commit to the football program with Curt Cignetti, yes, but then also whoever replaces him the day that he decides to retire, which we hope is not for a very long time. So that's a big deal too. And the rest of college football is upset because they missed out on him, the fact that Indiana is going to be good, and now we can just move on, right? Indiana and Curt Cignetti and the team and the building, everybody can just move on from this idea. Yeah, it was kind of crazy the last few days, right? The drama was there, the scaredness was there, the conversations were there, but now you can move on. And Indiana can go back to doing what it's supposed to do, which is win games on the football field. Focus on what your schedule says, which is Michigan State and UCLA. That's what you can now do, is completely move on, completely focus on you and your team, and not have to worry about taking another job or answering the phone for anybody else. This is a big day for Indiana. This is an historic day for Indiana. And for you Hoosiers fans out there, you ought to be proud of your university today. You ought to be proud of the athletics department today. You ought to be proud to wear the cream and crimson and be an Indiana fan. This is a major victory for Curt Cignetti and his family, for Indiana football and Indiana athletics as a whole. The Hoosiers have announced they're back and they're here to stay, and so is Curt Cignetti. 8-year deal, $11.6 million a year, and the Hoosiers are not going away. And man, I could not be happier with this deal today. All right, that's going to do it for this bonus episode of Locked On Hoosiers. Thank you so much for being here and watching or listening or however you're engaging with this. Thank you so much for doing that. We appreciate you being here. If you're new around here, make sure you subscribe to us on the YouTube channel. We post daily episodes talking all things Indiana athletics, football, basketball, and beyond. So be sure that you are a subscriber. Comment down below, like our videos. That helps us get it out there as well. And if you're listening on audio, if you found it on Spotify or Amazon or Apple, however you do, be sure you subscribe there. Follow us if it's a thing. Turn on those notifications so you never miss a daily episode of Locked On Hoosiers, okay? We do have an episode coming out tomorrow with our buddy Matt Sheehan of Locked On Spartans, talking all things Indiana and Michigan State for this weekend, okay? So we are back tomorrow for a normal episode, Hoosier fans. So until then, stay safe, and I'll talk to you later.